Hello, I'm Martin Savage in New York, where the news is breaking out of this city. Two New York City police officers in uniform sitting in their NYPD patrol car were shot in what was described as ambush style today in Brooklyn. We're told that both officers were shot in the head and both have died from their wounds. We're also told that the suspected gunman has been found dead. Here's how one witness described the scene.
No, she just told me that, they got shot in the car, whatever. They were sitting there. But my whole thing is, we got to take back our communities. This can't happen. If you mad at somebody, be mad at the person that you're mad at. Now, we have two families that's missing somebody for the holidays. Regardless of what, where's your humanity? Like, I know it's a war going on, and shout out to Eric Garner's family and everybody else who lost somebody, but you're not at his house or his lawn. These is two. You don't even know if they were good or bad. I don't condone this, and I'm not with it. I'm not with it.
We want to bring in now Tom Puentes. He's our CNN law enforcement correspondent and analyst, and he is joining us from Washington, D.C. Tom, certainly this has to be looked at in the troubling framework of demonstrations that have been held largely against the police department. Have you heard anything as to possible motive or where this investigation might begin?
No, Martin, I don't. They don't have the specifics yet that they want to put out. But just in general, if it turns out to be related to what's been going on in the news the past few months, this is something friends of mine in law enforcement, especially uniformed police officers, have been almost bracing for, because there has been so many people expressing so much anger at the police that even if the peaceful protesters didn't express or didn't carry out any kind of a physical act, they were worried that someone or some ones would be inspired to do it, and figured that police officers are fair game right now to kill, that they're the enemy. They've taken over our neighborhoods, and they're hurting our people and killing our people and doing it for no good reason, and that there's no justice in their view, since police officers are not going to prison for having engaged in a police-involved shooting and shot an African American. And so that's been the fear, that the anger would spill over to someone who would carry out an act and do something like this.
Harry Houck is also joining us on the telephone. He's a former NYPD police officer. And Harry, I guess I will ask you that prior to this incident, had those feelings that Tom Fuentes just described, this incident in the New York PD, that this was bound to happen, was that a feeling?
Yeah, definitely. I agree with everything that Tom had said here. Officers, I've been waiting for something like this to happen, although I didn't want it to happen, but all it takes is one lunatic to take that message into his brain somewhere and then go out and commit a crime like this. It's just horrible. And like I said, we kind of were expecting something like this might have happened.
And Tom, the reaction is bound to be quick across the country as far as law enforcement, putting them even more on edge. Do you expect that in some way there would be a federal directive or investigation, or is this all going to be kept within local police departments?
Well, I think for right now, this one's an NYPD matter to investigate and try to determine what the motive was, if they could, if they can contact people that knew this person, and if he used social media and other means of communicating a desire to kill police officers, and in particular NYPD officers. So that'll remain to be seen. It won't be a federal matter at this point to look into this unless there's a wider conspiracy to kill police officers all over the country. That certainly would be something worth analyzing. But for now, I think this is an NYPD matter.
28-year-old Ismail Brinsley of New York. He went on a shooting spree. It is said that he killed his girlfriend in Baltimore. Then he shot two cops execution style in Brooklyn. Now the thing is that something like this was bound to happen. I knew something like this was bound to happen in regards to the injustice of the police brutality with the slayings of Eric Garner, Michael Brown, and so on and so on. you know, but this nutty person, you know, how he's putting on his Instagram, how he's putting wings on pigs today, and, you know, they take one of ours, we take two of theirs, and kind of like inciting cop killings. You know what I mean? It's not good. He's not doing anything great for the black community at all. All he's doing is making it harder for us now. You know, these police officers are really going to be on the edge now. You know, because they're going to really be cautious. You know, especially when their life is in jeopardy. It was like, that was an idiot move. He shouldn't have did that. Then he took himself out at a subway. You know? And those two peace officers, they were pretty much, they had nothing to do with Darren Wilson or the Daniel Pantaleo issue. They have nothing to do with that. Only thing they have in common is that they're police officers. That's it. Their lives shouldn't have been taken. You know what I mean? Over the stupidity of other brutal officers within the department. That wasn't right at all. And I don't condone cop killings. You know what I mean? I don't. Now these two officers, their families will be like without them throughout the holidays and throughout the new year, which is sad. You know? See, we got to start using our noggin, you know what I mean, and not taking our own personal matters, whatever you have with your girlfriend or whatever, and then take that situation and tie it with this situation on what you're going to do to officers. It doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? Excuse me, I'm blowing my nose. I'm coming down with a cold again. But, you know, this was pretty much an idiot who had done that. Of course, we all know that there's going to be outrage because of all the police brutality and all these cops walking after killing innocent, unarmed black men. We already know that, you know what I mean? But it's like you can't just go off thinking like, okay, we can just take out any uniform officer and that's going to justify, you know, all the police brutality and everything that's going on. Alright then, tubers, feel free to sub, and I'll catch you on another one. Nah-ahh.